You've been spending the better part of a few days in a fairly bleak looking room. Not a lot there. You got a mattress, you have a sink, and you also have a door. Some other amenities, but the door is what counts, right? The door is what counts. Because that's where all your contact comes from, in and out, and it always seems to be Goldilocks, at least for the first few days. Well, there is one thing that changes by the fourth. By the fourth day, someone new arrives. A man in a white coat, a little dirty at the bottom, and he has a notepad. You get the very distinct sensation, Hellbent, that you're being watched during any visit that he makes. And what does he offer you? A chance to talk. Therapy. Of all the things, that's what they're shelling out for while you're here? If you didn't know any better, you'd think they were genuinely concerned. Do you allow this man to help you? Or do you close in, shut off, and shut them out?
Against my better judgment, I think Hellbent would open up.
What
He
does
would
Hellbent
guard a
say?
few. What? What does he lead with?
Well, you're just given space to kind of push things the way you want them to go. So, knowing this as a professional, what do you feel like discussing, Hellbent?
He would probably bring up his trust issues, specifically related to Hobbs.
Oh,
He
yeah?
feels. He doesn't feel at home talking to her. He worries if he says something the company might dislike, she might turn him in, even though it feels as though they're on good terms. He's seen other executives and other employees turned into scrap metal and a bunch of rotten meat by certain interactions very similar. He's not comfortable with it.
Well, it sounds to me as though you're expecting a non-professional relationship. This
No,
is your employee, right?
it is. However, I expected at least some trust. The company is a cold place. We must stick together for the betterment of each other's futures. One cannot stand alone, not in a corporation.
Hmm. Then the nature of your employment, and by extension, this Hobbs employment, I get the feeling that you want to change that.
But there is no path to change it.
Do you understand the risks involved in what your ideal working relationship with this Hobbs would include?
I am aware of the risks of many things. Look at me, Doctor. There are so many worse things than death the company could put someone like me through.
Do you feel it's, fair to expect Hobbs to undertake these risks then? Based on what you want?
No, but I am unsure how to assess what they want. All they talk about is
business. There must be something there, something more. I need a team, not just an employee. There is no chance of fulfillment without this unity. If I cannot trust the ones at my back, then I will find a knife there quite quickly, I imagine, with my ambitions.
Are you sure you're looking for the type of unity that you want in the right places, then?
Where else could such a committee form but inside a corporation?
Well, I imagine that you're as familiar with the struggles of Night City as anyone else. Rent, cops, the air and water itself. Everything's trying to kill you. There's no looking around it, no getting past it. So people live in survival mode. I'm sure you've done the same. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But I do believe that it might be on each individual to decide for themselves whether they want to find a way out of it that aligns with yours, if at all. Not everyone's ready to take such a leap, to risk all that. See, I understand that you've got a goal. You're just gonna need to consider for yourself who you really want to help you with that, and whether or not that's actually in their best interest. Look, the fact that I'm here, you should probably know. I'm not going to be giving you the old lines that come from all the other folks that go out on a limb and help folks like you coming in their offices. But maybe I'm the one that you need to talk to right now, because you're certainly not a standard case yourself, are you?
Perhaps not. But perhaps I am just delusional. I have read that cyberpsychosis promotes a feeling of viewing all around oneself as parts, not people. Perhaps this is simply a facet of this idea.
So you've done your research on your presumed condition, have you? Mr. Kane, was it?
You may call me Hydrogen if you wish, an old nickname from the streets.
Of course, Mr. Hydrogen. Well, the main reason I was brought in here was to help you with that. I'm sure you could have guessed as much by now. Your friend, with the blonde hair, Goldilocks, we call her. She was concerned about you. Said she picked you up out of a situation that could have gone real differently had she not arrived.
I am grateful to her. However, I have concerns about this we you speak of.
I just have an old habit of speaking in the collective myself. But don't pay that any mind.
Yes, no mind at all. Yet I still have no idea who you work for or where we are. Not a very safe environment for anti-cyberpsychosis therapy.
You are not incorrect about that one. Thing is, we don't want anyone coming to get you before you're ready to be gotten. Most folks...
Again.
Would you prefer if I use I instead, Mr. Hydrogen?
I would prefer a name to this little group of yours.
Oh, I am simply brought in for my professional services right now. it was Goldilocks who asked me to come through. She also was the one footing the bill.
Another debt I have accrued.
No, she's the one who owes me.
So be it. We will keep to your pronouns and circle talk. But I do not feel comfortable with it.
Of course.
For the record.
Of course, of course. Now, I have a question to ask for you. It's very simple, but I do know that there's a chance you'll take offense to it, given everything that I've heard along the way in. Are you willing to temporarily offline some of your implants, your cyberware? At least until we can work through some of this together.
I do not want to. But I have the sneaking suspicion I have few options.
Now, if you feel most comfortable keeping them online, I can work with that. But the stipulation is, we have to stay in the room. If you're willing to offline them, well, then we can go out for some walks along the way, get you a little bit more familiar with where we're at, and I'll have it on honor system that you won't turn them back online until we are finished with our sessions. It's not going to get you all sorted out, but it should be enough to help ground you and give you some tools that you can use when you feel yourself slipping over the edge, as the cyberpunks out there like to say. How does that sound? The choice is yours, Mr. Hydrogen.
Hydrogen Kane, this man who has been a part of his machine more than his own body, looks down to his hands for a moment, and then back up to the professional, I suppose.
I will keep my linear frame and muscle grafts active, but the rest I will bring offline for now.
A bargain I am more than willing to accept. Thank you for your compromise, and I realize now that in my excitement to get to know you better, I forgot to introduce myself. That's hardly professional. My name is Thomas, and I look forward to working with you, Mr. Hydrogen.
I'm sure we will have a budding partnership.
All right. Well, over the next week, as you undergo very intensive therapy.
Should I roll humanity for this or something?
Absolutely, you should.
Extreme?
Oh, yes.
All right. I don't know if it'll actually take me out. He only has like 2 empathy right now, I think.
Well, we're going to find out. Well, while you're over this course of this week, you're going to see as well, since you've taken a steal, a little bit more of where you're at. You are in what can only be described as sewers, or perhaps a very low income housing area. It's underground, surrounded by concrete and pipes. There are people in tents just tucked into the walls, and you are not allowed to go down. While you keep that linear frame online, it's determined that you are best staying above all of this, lest you find yourself feeling a little triggered by the people down below. And as you know, these parts of town can be pretty rough, right?
Exactly why he kept his linear frame online.
Well, what'd you get for your humanity?
More than I can take, so I'm going to go up to 29.
Amazing. Very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
after a little while, you are allowed. It's Goldilocks who comes to get you. She lets you know that your time with Thomas is done, and you're free to put everything back online. Yeah, sorry about that, honey. I was not expecting things to take as long as they did, but welcome. Welcome back. This is a place you may not be familiar with, but it is what I call home.
It is familiar enough. It reeks of desperation and hunger. I know it very well.
Well, then that saves us some of the introductions. It might look like this, but we've managed to live here and secure the area well enough that we can save on some of the more expensive housing options. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
I am quite understanding of this. And you have not received any interference from the NCPD, I take it.
I know who to bribe, and so do my friends whenever I'm indisposed.
I see.
Well, why don't you come on out and get to know some of the people here? Goldilocks starts walking you out, down the ladder, and into the place at large. They follow.
He does. I assume he's not wearing his suit.
Oh no, everything is returned to you as you exit.
Ah, I see.
Well, by now I think Thomas must have let on my real name. They call me Goldilocks. And over here, we've got Retriever. We've also got my good friend across the way, Nugget. Star. And this cutie, well, she went by more than a few names in her day, but now I just call her my sweet porridge.
I see.
I'm sure you're curious. Why, oh why, did I bother to help you? Am I right?
No simple birds of a feather flock together answer. A shame. I was hoping for something cliche.
Well, truth be told, at first I was just curious. Why outsiders at my racetrack? Well, then I was intrigued. We talked a lot, more than I expected. And, well, for a kidnapping, that's good. Hell, you even said some good things, Mr. Kane.
Mr. Hydrogen, please. Kane is the first name. Besides, I think we should stay to anagrams and titles if Goldilocks is the best you can do.
I go by what people call me, rather than where I came up from.
So you say.
And
As do I.
And I do. Well, then I'll call you the same thing that I'm calling myself. The thing that the streets have chosen for us. So you're my golden god, at least for the afternoon. Sound fine?
Just gold will suffice. Thank you.
As well. After all that, I got a little worried. My scans finished on you when I was taking you back. You said some good things, so I was hoping there wouldn't be any problems. Now, all those sensors in my car turned up the same conclusion. You've been running on the edge, mister.
I could feel it after we talked. An itch in the skin below the chrome, like a phantom pain. I that feeling. I remember speaking about the claws. I think that's what brought it on. I saw them there. I wanted them dead. It was lucky I had loaded my weapon with rubber rounds. If not, I do not think I would have made such a clean getaway.
Indeed. I wasn't banking on you having done that, though I did know. Senses and all that. Well, truth be told, I was almost out of there when I turned my wheel. You know, if you meant half of what you said, then you might actually be worth the risk. I couldn't let you zero your friends or get offed yourself. Rubber bullets or not, the real weapon isn't what's in the gun for you, now is it? I seen your body, I
Never.
seen the scans, and I've heard what you chose to keep online. Thomas told me. You know, he shouldn't have, but he figured in a case like yours, we ought to know the risk we're taking by letting you stay.
I do not feel comfortable leaving my Borgware off. It has saved my life on many occasions. It is comforting to feel its warmth.
Saved your life, sure, but did risk your friends most recently. Double-edged sword.
Perhaps
Well. Now, I told you what I thought next, and what I thought after that. So, I figure I should tell you the rest of it. You know our names. Now you get to know who we are. We're the Mints. Cute little name, I know. Each of us has a little bit of gold to our step, to our touch, to our style. You've probably noticed by now, haven't you?
the naming conventions are a tad blatant.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But people liked what I did for myself, and they kind of just wanted to fall in line. Just made sense, helped the streets come to understand what we were, and, well, it goes from there. They might not be so well known as I am. I'm the one on the tracks, but they're the team that keeps me running. Driving, sliding. You know how it is. No one does it alone. Nothing great, anyway.
Numbers are the ultimate advantage, especially when those numbers are trustworthy.
Indeed, indeed. Well, you know, there's another reason why I brought you out here.
I suspect that it is to regale me with some plight of need, perhaps to coerce my allegiance.
Plight of need, maybe. But really, it's that you still owe me a venue. Don't exactly expect the races to be coming back outside Claw's Mall anytime soon, now do we?
Unfortunately not. I do apologize. I would have finished that more gracefully for your sake if I had the capacity at the time.
Well, we can only do our best. Nothing more. This much is known. So, you're out. You're ready to go. What are you going to do next? I told you I wasn't going to hold you indefinitely, not for no reason.
I will... I am unsure. The things you have said, they are true. I have spent too much time playing games. There is work to be done, work that I have not fulfilled. But I am confronted with the simple fact I am unsure I can do this alone. I do not know if I have any to rely on. Sparks, the brawler, I expected less from them to stop me like that. Perhaps I may forge a stronger, more unified alliance with them. However, I do not trust anyone else of the runners, not even my own employee. Especially not my employee.
Well, I think one thing that you need to understand, Mr. What was it? Hydrogen?
Yes.
Trust is earned, not given. And if there's one thing you've certainly made clear, it's that you don't trust others in corporations, isn't that right?
You cannot trust in a corporation. I have seen trust not easily earned anywhere but within a corporation. Faces are traded as easily as cigarettes and as easily as coin from your pocket. It is not something you can simply find. It is bait more often than not.
Well then, for what reason should all these people that you've been mentioning trust you? You're the suit among them, right? I didn't see anyone else who had something like this underneath their disguise.
Yes, but I have opened my home to them. I have
Oh, hold on now. Is it your home, though? Are you
It
paying
is
the
the
rent,
only.
or is it the corporation doing that?
Hellbent turns away at that. It is a perk of the job, but it is the corp.
You need to understand. They are holding you to the same standards that you're holding anyone else who would be walking in with the same threads you bear, Mr. Hydrogen. So, you're gonna have to be the one who shows them they can trust you. And a horrible way to do that is by already deciding they ain't worth trusting. You gotta be vulnerable. Gotta learn to let your guard down.
And if I am wrong,
If you're
if
wrong, then you need to be strong enough to handle that, or fast enough to regroup. It's that simple. You want to do something and be all that? Be ready for it. And then you prove that you're strong enough to be vulnerable, strong enough to take off your armor. That's it. That's the whole thing.
then this is the path to tread.
Hell of a path, I'd say. By the way, if you're looking for someone who isn't so corporate affiliated, I might have a driver in mind for you. You know, I won't always be there to pick you up when you fall off that line. But if you keep one of my friends around, pay him good, he can watch out for you the way I have.
I will consider the offer, but I need time. I must make choices. I appreciate offering your community to me, but I must reform my own.
Well, you just remember one thing, will you? Goldilocks, Porridge, Retriever Nugget, and Star. We're all underneath the city, or racing through its every back alley. You need us, you come find us. And at that time, then I will count it as a favor. And I haven't forgotten. You said you'd be able to help us get some special parts, right?
Agreed. However, I may deliver more, if possible and allowed. Something to defend yourselves with should be viable gifts.
Oh,
Correct?
honey, I don't know if you really turned your eyes back on or not yet, but have you seen who's here? RPG, 6 arms and bored to hell. Big ass assault rifle and a coat to beat the band. I don't know what her deal is other than she's got a gold microphone, but damn does she know how to use it to move a crowd. We're not helpless.
I am never intended to imply such. However, families grow.
Suppose they do. I'm curious about one thing, though.
Well, spit it out.
That cop that you were working with. Are you going to make a habit of pulling up with badges more often? Or is he on his way out of the force?
I am unsure of his current employ. I do not wish to work with him again, not particularly. However, for the moment, it seems I have no choice.
Doing what you need to survive. So I see.
No. To survive, I would put a bullet in his head.
You know what I mean.
I am carrying out my employer's wishes, which for now I am bound to obey.
All right. All right. You know, there's one thing you should also keep in mind.
And what might that be?
I've been hearing some news of cyber psychos disappearing before they even make a scene.
Do tell.
Oh, yes. It's as if they're being tracked. Strangest thing. Just when those readings go off, and I would know. I've done my part to monitor people who come through my cabs. Certainly does me some good to know if they're over the edge or not. Lets me know whether I should help them out of my cab sooner rather than later. But they have a habit of disappearing. Strangest thing.
A fascinating phenomenon. I shall keep it in mind.
Keep it in mind because you could be one of them next.
Yes. I suspect they already have an eye on me, these persons unknown.
They might. They certainly might. Let me know if you achieve your goal. Okay? I like the sound of it. Really. Wouldn't have wasted all this time on you if it was actually a waste.
I will keep you in mind. Goldilocks. Perhaps one day, if I am not dead or disappeared, as these others you have mentioned have become, I will have a place somewhere for your mint. Somewhere safer than this.
You can call it a hole. That's fine. I know it for what it is.
It is home, if nothing else. I have lived in worse places. You should be grateful. You have a roof and walls from the cold. Secrecy, the most important of all.
Don't I know it? Well, with that, are you going to be heading out?
I suppose he will. However, as he leaves, he would like to make a call.
Who is he calling?
Hobbs.
And what's he saying?
Does Hobbs pick up?
Oh, yes, Hobbs picks up.
Hello. I have come to my senses.
Hellbent! Last I saw, you got scooped up by a damn taxi. I tried to trace it, but lost it in the mess of the city.
Yes, it is something from my newly acquired friend. I think you would like them very much.
Well, as long as you're alright. You know, you gave me a real scare back there. Weren't saying a damn thing once that smoke went up.
I'm sorry. I was not myself.
Oh, try to stay yourself more often. Can't say anyone else is gonna give me bonuses like you do. There's a laugh. Hobbs is telling a joke.
Yes, good. We're working on your social skills. More progress with your integration into the meat society. Excellent.
If you say that I need help integrating into the meat society one more time, I swear, Hellbent, I swear, I will shut down your arms.
Understandable response. Hobbs,
Yes, Hellbent?
I would like you to exit where you are currently. I will wire you a diesel. I want you to pick up a burner phone. I will call you there.
Okay. Little strange. Loyalty check right now.
Automatic success.
Really?
Well, it's a D6 for any loyalty check, and if you're above 6 loyalty, it's automatic.
What does it reset to again after a session?
10. You can have as much loyalty during a session as you want, but in between sessions, it's 10. That's the maximum.
Nice.
Well, he can't do that. He's going to purchase a burner phone and have it handed off to him, and he's going to wire Hobbs 50 heads to do the same.
Alright. What are you going to do when you go out to meet Hobbs?
Oh no, he's not going out to meet Hobbs specifically. He just wants them to have burner phones so they can contact each other without being monitored immediately.
Nice. That's pretty cute.
And when they do, he would like to call them back.
Alright, they do. And you call back. What do you say?
I am sorry for imposing in your day. I'm sure much productive grinding has been done.
Oh, yeah. You missed out. I actually got beta keys. And I had to, give an arm and a leg for it, but I did manage it. Beta keys for Elflines Online 2. Elflines on the Line.
Yes, I recall you mentioning this during a meeting.
Oh yeah, I've got one for you as well. What do you think you're gonna play as?
I am unsure. I must consult the possibilities. I'm sure you will have to advise me.
Oh, well, yeah, no, there's a lot of really good options out there. I mean, druids are always good, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll look at it, okay? I'll purchase the game guide. I was meaning to anyways.
Yes, but we circle the point. Do you know what the purpose of buying a burner phone is?
Probably because you have some weird shit to say, am I right? Pardon my French.
I do not care for you to use expletives. Your speech is your own. I have avoided talking to you for some time, Hobbs. I am afraid to trust you. But I will.
Interesting. Go on.
The corporation is cold, dying, killing everything around it while it does. There is no future in this.
Are you
Look.
saying we're about to get sacked, or?
The company is inevitably getting sacked. This is not what I mean to imply. We are owned by Biotechnica already. You should take a look at shell company chains. It's very good to know who your masters may be.
Well, that's a bit grim, but I guess I'm not surprised. I always thought that it was Arasaka, but Biotechnica,
No.
that checks out.
Biotechnica has a corner on the market of anti-cyber psychotic drugs, having a stake in the sale and purchasing of cyberware is beneficial to them. Sell the problem, sell the cure, to keep both at a high price.
Okay. So then what's your solution here?
There is no solution, not to the corporation as it is now. The world around us is being ruined. It cannot continue. Every week I see acid rain eat away at the city. Sandstorms blowing in from the center of the continent. We have already ruined so much. But there is a way around it. A change of power.
And your suggestion?
A union.
There is an audible gasp on the other side of the phone.
This has been my goal for many years, as I have climbed the corporate ladder.
You know they can just fire us all, right?
Not everyone. What will they do if no one can or will work? The sentinels they purchase for protection cannot carry out everything we do. They
They can
cannot
just
track.
get more people. Night City's full of them. You've seen all the homeless out there.
And what if they, too, are hostile to being exploited?
I don't know. This sounds,
Dangerous.
This sounds like
Yes.
you haven't thought it through.
Perhaps I am desperate. But I have faith.
Who else have you talked to about this?
No one.
Maybe that's the problem then. You don't just get a union by talking to one person.
I am aware. This is why I am talking to you. I wish to test the waters. I understand you have wished to keep our executive relationship as it is, business alone. However, I fear that this is not conducive to our survival if I am to continue on this path.
Give me a persuasion check.
That is a 20.
Oh, wow. Alright, yeah. Hobbs is... understandably uncertain.
I know this is an uneasy proposition, but understand, ideas spread like a virus. If perhaps Mechanodyne could unionize, the idea would spread up the chain and across. If it reached Biotechnica, their implications would be earth-shattering. They have a corner on all pharmaceuticals. They have a majority of control on the market. If their company were to change, the others, they would be at extreme disadvantage.
It's like you said, it's risky. I don't even know what a union would look like in Night City.
Blood and riots. Executives dragged from their lofty penthouses and beaten to death in the street. It would be violent, undeniably so. But it could be done.
Look,
It was almost done. Silver and in the 2020s. Do you remember your history lessons over it? One lone upstart nuking Arasaka's tower, turning the entire city to riots. We could do the same, but we would not fizzle so easily.
maybe we could do the same, but I'm not completely convinced. Look, you called me up and told me to get a burner phone. I knew you were gonna say something crazy after not seeing you this long, but this is madness. And yet, I know there's some truth to it. Sooner or later, the company we're in it's gonna get swallowed up, replaced, bought out. I don't know. Absorbed, restructured. It doesn't matter. It happens everywhere. If you talk to others and you get 4 more people on board, come to me. I will say yes, no questions asked. But if you can't get 4 others who you don't know, then I'll know that it's not worth not worth hoping for, Hellbent. Is that fair?
These terms are agreeable. I appreciate your candor and your willingness to listen to me.
Yeah, well, someone's got to play the druid.
I suppose party composition is integral. Community is the most important part of any life.
Got to be part of a whole. But still, first need to convince enough people to play.
So they say. Perhaps I will attempt to join other players in this endeavor. Should I receive 4 more subscriptions for Elfline's beta, I will let you know.
Oh, yeah. Alright. And then, we can try our first raid.
Yes. A raid.
And with that, he will hang up. No real ceremony to it.